Hello, I'm going to show you how to print a very useful report that I like to use for the STAR reading test results for parents. I personally send these home with each new quarter as we retake the STAR tests, and I also will use them in parent conferences. It's one of many diagnostic placement tests that you should use for purposes of analyzing a student's reading level. But this particular report is really helpful to help parents understand where their child's reading level is because it really clearly explains it. So you want to go to your school's Renaissance Place page. As you probably know, that is unique to your school, so make sure you have the correct address there. You want to log in to your teacher account. And so once you're there, you want to go to the Star Reading tab, and you're going to click here on Reports. So for the reports, at the top, these are the reports that you commonly use as a teacher for instructional implications related to your students' skill levels. But what you're looking for right now is the parent report down here. So I'm going to go to the English parent report, and you'll click on that one time. Now at this point, you could actually change your selection. It's going to default to your classes, to all of your classes, all of your students. However, if you're just wanting to print a specific student, then you can always change that. One thing I do recommend changing, now after I do the quarter one report, right now it's set for the whole school year because we only have one that we've taken so far. But once we go to the second quarter and my students retake this test, and I want to print the report again to show the parent how they've progressed from the first to the second, I don't want to reprint all of their quarter one again. So you'll change that. You'll want to change that date. But the one thing I do really recommend that you always select is to show grade equivalent. And I'm going to explain why on that next screen when I show you the actual report. But you really will find, I think, that useful. So come over here, you'll scroll down, and you can look at the other things and see if you want to change them. Personally, I like the defaults for all of these things. And then you're going to click on View Report. Okay, so here's what the parent report looks like. Now I've scrolled down enough so that you can't see any last names of students for privacy purposes. But what you'll see is at the top it explains what the report is for the parents, and then it shows this bar across the top. Now each one of these little acronyms is probably familiar to you if you've been using the STAR reading program, but it wouldn't be very familiar to parents. And so down below, you'll see that each one of those is defined and explained for the parents, which is what I find so useful, especially this grade equivalent. Now, this is the one that we chose that was not part of the defaults. Otherwise, it would have started here with the percentile rank. But the grade equivalent is very telling because, as you'll see, the second sentence in the last sentence under grade equivalent says that based on the national norms, Alexander reads at a level equal to that of a typical third grader after the fourth month of the school year. Now, that's pretty telling considering the fact that this student is in fourth grade. That helps a parent to understand, hey, he's just a little bit behind on his reading level. I feel like that as a parent, sometimes they need to hear that to understand that, or vice versa if the child is way ahead. That's very helpful. And then, of course, it makes sense then when they look on to see that his percentile rank is 28, that he is reading below average. This also is very helpful down here, the ZPD, which we use quite a bit in our classroom. My students know their ZPD levels. This is the level of recommended books for optimal growth in reading, as it explains. But that is important for parents to see as well, because when they're ordering books for their child, taking them to the public library, things like that, those numbers help them to see, hey, these books are going to be good fit books. That's the way I usually talk about them with my students. And then if you scroll down further, you'll see that it'll give a few more recommendations to parents, and then it has an option for you to have the parents go ahead and sign that. So I also wanted to show you can print the same report in Spanish, going back to your STAR report screen. If you want to do that for certain students, this is where you would probably go in and choose particular students, choose that grade equivalent again, and print that report again for those particular students. And then you'll see that the report in Spanish looks exactly the same, is arranged the same way as the English report. And that's how you print the STAR reading report for parents.